Hello there and welcome to class. I'm Ms. Martin and I'll be your teacher for this semester. So what I want to do in this video here is I want to walk you through a few things that are particularly important just to highlight a couple of things for you so that you are ready to get started for the semester, okay? So for this here, you'll see that I've got the Senior Lit class open. I teach 11th LA Senior Lit US History and a couple of other elective LA classes like communications and creative writing and science fiction and so forth. So you may not be in senior literature, but the way that I have this course set up is going to be the exact same way that I have all of my classes set up. So once you understand the setup in one class, it will be the same for the others, right? It transfers. So what I want to do here is to start off with the top of the class, and then we're going to work our way down a bit. And then I have a list of topics that I want to make sure that I cover with you. But the first thing that I want you to do is to go to this link here that says Welcome to Ms. Martin's class, start here. See this all caps that say start here, click there. And you're just going to see a couple of little pieces of information that are really important. You've got my name, contact information, and email. You've got my BU lab times. Those are the days and times that I'm actually at the physical BU lab. And here you have my virtual lab times. This is when I am available online for virtual lab hours. And if you've never attended a virtual lab, these are the directions for how to get there. It's on Google Meet, okay? Reach out if you have any questions with those things, but that's how you do all of that. There's a very brief video here. I think it's like 2 minutes, something like that. Please watch that. And then under here, it's not showing up today, but I do have a course survey. I'd like you to fill that out. It's very short, take you a couple of minutes, and that will give me a lot of background information on you and your experiences with LA classes, on what you're expecting from this class, and things like that. So if you'd please fill that out, I'd sure appreciate it, okay? With my classes, it's always start at the top, work your way down. And so that's what I want you to do here. You start at the top with that start here page, and then you're going to work your way down. After you've completed this, you're going to open up this week 1 course introduction. This is going to look almost identical in all of your classes. And that's because this folder right here, Boulder Universal Policies, read this and take the quizzes, that's going to look the same because all of your teachers are going to include our BU course policies in all of our classes. You do not have to reread the BU handbook in every single class you take, but you do need to read it at least one at the beginning of each semester. It's really important, okay? Things I want you to do in this folder are to have read the handbook, academic integrity and plagiarism policy, the pacing guide, the lab schedule, how to submit assignments, and technology instructions. Okay, you're going to read all those pages. Again, this is going to be the same in your math class, in your science class, in your electives, and so forth. Alrighty? And then I have a couple of quizzes that I want you to take. This is to verify that you've read and understand the really important points that are inside of those documents. So that's what's here in the green, the little green puzzle piece. That's a quiz. So you're going to go into those. With all quizzes in my classes, you get one chance to do the quiz. I don't reset quizzes, so make sure that when you open it, you're ready to take it so that you can do your best job on that, okay? Sorry, I skipped a step here. So starting from the top, the first thing you actually want to do is to go into the Martin's course introduction. And to go in here, this video that I am recording right now is going to be attached right here. And then underneath of that, you'll see the read the course introduction here. I want you to open up this document and I want you to read what is in there. It just lays out, I mean, it's all common sense stuff, right? So it starts out with a little bit of information about me, so you know a bit about what kind of person I am, how to get a hold of me and things like that. And then you scroll down here and you're going to find links out to really important information like the lab schedule and the pacing guide and the handbook and so forth. And then you're going to have down here like a frequently asked questions with questions and answers about the things that are really important for my classes specifically. Some teachers do things a little bit differently, so this is going to be very important for you to know how I do things since you're in my class, okay? And so you'll see that all under here. Make sure you read this entire thing. I will quiz you on it, and it's going to be, you're going to be held accountable to that, so you definitely want to know that. Okay? And then in the rest of your course introduction here, under the resources for students, I've got a couple of things that are up here now. I'm going to continue to add more and more into that folder. Okay? So right now you've got a couple of things. You're going to see more going in there. So if you get an email or a message from me through Schoology that says, hey, I added this resource for you in the students and the resources folder, this is the place that I'm talking about. Okay. And then there are a couple of pieces here. Extra credit, I do extra credit at random. And I almost never do extra credit the last month of the semester. So it happens usually in the middle of the semester. So if you get an email from me saying, hey, we're doing an extra credit, if you attend this event, then you can get 10 points of extra credit or something like that. You'll see those kinds of things coming out. This is a brief introduction assignment. You're going to make a copy of the document that's in there, complete that, and submit that. Alrighty? So in your week 1, what you're going to do here is you're going to complete all of those assignments, and you're going to submit all of them before August 23rd at 8 a.m. All right? Because that's going to be the deadline for week 1. Okay? And again, that policies folder is going to be the same in all of your classes, except that I have my own quizzes. Okay? My quizzes are going to be different. Underneath of that, you're going to see that depending on which class you're in, then I have a certain number of weeks that are open at this point. For the senior lit class, I have through week 5 that's open and available. And you'll see that I've got the curriculum. I'm just verifying that the curriculum is correct before I release it to students. So that's why you don't have the whole semester at once. I also may choose to make adjustments as the semester goes on. So that's another reason that I don't release everything at once. You will always see at least this week that we're on and the next week. Okay, so from your teachers, you'll always see the current week plus the next week. So if you need to work a little bit ahead, you should always have 1 week's worth of content to be able to do that. When you open up any of your folders, you're going to see a couple of things that are going to be consistent across your classes. You'll notice that everything is numbered with the number of the week first and the number of the page second. Okay, so scroll down here. Assignments are going to be the green little puzzle piece. That's for a quiz or a test. The little blue, looks like a piece of paper kind of, that's going to be for an assignment that you would turn in. So that's like an essay, an assignment, a task, a short answer, a project, something like that. You're going to see that little icon. And then here where you see the little speech bubbles that have the yellow and the blue, those are for discussion. So that's where you're going to see that particular icon that comes up. For all of your folders, for all of your classes, the due dates are exactly the same. We don't have separate due dates for separate teachers. Every teacher uses exactly the same due date. They're always on Mondays at 8 a.m. The only time that changes is if Monday is a holiday like President's Day. So then that would bump to the next day. But that date is always going to be listed right here in the title of the folder. Okay? I don't accept late assignments, so anything that is turned in will need to be in by 8 for you to get credit for that. Okay? All right. So in terms of the basic setup for the class, the other thing you're going to see is over here with my picture. I always include my contact information in my lab hours so that you've got that information readily available. You can grab hold of that right away. You should never have to search for how to contact me or where I am, okay? Because it'll always be there. All right. As with all the teachers, I work, kind of general teacher hours of 7 to 3 right in there. Okay. Monday through Friday. Those are the times you can expect to get a hold of me. I do not work weekends. I have 2 kids who are 11 and 12 years old. And so evenings and weekends I spend with my family. You're absolutely welcome to send me an email on the weekends or in the evenings, but don't expect to get a hold of me. Just know that I will be with my family during that time period, but I am available to you during the school day, Monday through Friday, and I expect that that's when you'll be working as well, is during the school week, okay, Monday through Friday. All right, I've got a list of topics over here I want to make sure that I get through. So we went through my teacher contact information. You know where that is located. Another thing that you're going to do, and I can't really open it up because it's got students' names in it, But on your screen over here, instead of it saying grade book, it's going to say grades. I want to make sure that you click on that for all of your classes so that when you open it up, you can see what that looks like. That's going to show you your grade book that will include all of your grades, and that's where all of your comments for your grades will be located. Okay, so be sure to take a look at that. That's going to be really important. Let's talk about deadlines. So deadlines I mentioned earlier are on Mondays, 8 a.m. At Monday at 8 a.m., I'm sitting at my computer, and anybody who didn't turn in an assignment will get a 0 for that assignment. So I'll just go through the grade book. If you didn't turn in the assignment by 8, a 0 will go in. That 0 is permanent. So once it's in, it's in. We move on to the next week. A note about extensions is that extensions are extraordinarily rare, far and few between. So if you need an extension for some reason, you're welcome to reach out to me about that. But expect that it will probably be, the default answer is always no for extensions, because our classes are open 24/7 to you, because they're open over the weekend, because they're open during the evenings. We don't tend to do extensions. It's just been a long-term policy for us that this works out better when students stay on the particular week that where we are working. So just know that that is the case. If you have a very significant emergency, you're really sick, you're in the hospital, someone passed away, there's a family emergency, that's definitely the time to reach out to me. And I would recommend that you have your parent reach out to me just as you would in a traditional school, right? Typically, the student would reach out in those kinds of situations. But if it's a situation where you forgot to do your assignment, you forgot to turn something in, or you got confused and you didn't reach out to the teacher for help, or you didn't stop by the lab or something like that, that's not the situation where I would approve an extension, just so you know in advance. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about assignment redos. I do offer one redo on any assignment. And what I mean by assignment is that I do not mean a quiz and I do not mean a discussion. I mean this little blue icon that you see on your screen here on the 2.8 Works Cited assignment. Here's how you get the redo option. All you have to do is turn in your completed assignment during the school week. So that's before Friday at 3 p.m. You can turn it in any time during the school week. You turn in your assignment at any point during the school week by Friday at 3 p.m. Let's say that, then that's due the following Monday. I grade it and I noticed that it's obvious you didn't understand the directions. You got confused. You only did part of the directions. You didn't read all of them. You did just poorly on it, right? Happens to the best of us. What I will do is I will put a note in the grade book saying you only got a 60% on this assignment, whatever it is. And so you can redo this by the following deadline. If you turn in your assignment after Friday at 3 p.m., you lose that opportunity. So this really is something I would recommend all students take advantage of. I don't do redos for last minute assignments, for weekend assignments. If it comes in at 6 a.m. on Monday, there is not a redo option for that assignment. So I definitely recommend get that thing turned in by Friday at 3 p.m. and you'll get that extra chance. Okay. Okay, virtual and lab hours. Let's talk just a little bit about those. Teachers at BU will do two types of live connections with students. One will be the lab hours. I have them listed up here at the top, and all of your teachers should have a page at the top of their class that has their contact information, lab hours, and so forth. So I'm there Wednesday afternoons and Thursday mornings. You can come into the BU lab and you can expect to meet with me in person those days and times. Okay. If you want to let me know that you're coming in so that I can expect you, that's great. Go ahead and do that. If you can't meet in person, I'm available Mondays. I've got a morning slot and an afternoon slot. And the directions for accessing that virtual lab time, they're right here. Okay, so that you know how to get a hold of me and how you can do that. You just follow those directions. Okay. If you've got a situation of where it's Tuesday and you've got a question and I don't have a lab time, virtual or in person, on Tuesday, you can call me, you can email me, you can send me an instant message through the BVSD Google system, and that's just fine. Okay, reach out to me anytime. That's not a big deal. But to actually talk to me kind of face to face, if that's in person or if that's virtually, you would follow those schedules. And all of your teachers will have both in-person lab hours and virtual lab time available. Okay? Okay, announcements. I will post one announcement at least for each class. Usually I do those at the very beginning of the week. Usually I do those on Mondays. So the way that that will look is that you'll be logged into your class just like you see on the screen here. But then up here at the top, there will be an announcement. And I usually do it in a colorful font so that it really stands out and is easy to see. So expect to see that Monday. They're just really basic updates of like this week we're working on this particular essay, or here's a resource that I want to share with you, or reminding you of my times that I'm available to help you, or any announcements of anything that's different. Those will be up at the top. Make sure that you read those. I do hold you accountable to those, so be sure that you're reading those, okay? 4-day work week plans. So for my classes, and I don't know that I've done this for this class yet, or if it's something I'm working on. Yes, this one is in. Okay, great. So for my classes, for the most part, you're going to see that's unit introduction or the week introduction. You just scroll down on these, and I've created a 4-day work week for every class so that if you're the person who says, wow, I see all this work I'm supposed to do during the week, but it's hard for me to figure out how do I get this done. I did that for you. Okay, I broke this down into 4 days every week. If we have a 5-day schedule, you'll see my directions here. That if you've got that fifth day is to revise and improve any work you can, to communicate with your staff, wrap up anything that needs to be wrapped up. Usually we need that extra day to just check things, make sure that things are in the right order, check your grade book, make sure that your grades are correct, and so forth. Okay? For some of my classes, I have a video that's up here at the front. I don't have those completed for all the classes yet, but for some of them I do. So be sure to watch those anytime that there is a video. Excuse me. Okay? So you'll see that. I always put that at the beginning of the week. So it'll be up there at the top like that. Okay? All right, how to communicate with teachers. So because we're virtual, you have a wide variety of options, right? Because we're not in person with you in the traditional classroom. You can call us. Our phone numbers are available. You can text us. Those are cell phone numbers. You can email us anytime, 24/7 there. And you can also, drop in. You can come into the lab, or you can come into the virtual office hours. Virtual office hours for me will change. Sometimes I'll do them as small group work where I'll cover a topic. Sometimes I will do guests of where I'll have people come in and talk about different topics. Sometimes I will do those as scheduled time of where you'll know that I'll be working with a group on thesis statements. So you might want to come to that. Okay. But know that those are open and available for students. Academic integrity. Okay, next topic. Academic integrity is incredibly important. You're going to find the policy is listed out here under the third item, BU academic integrity and plagiarism policy, particularly for the age group that I work with. I've got 11th and 12th graders. At this point, you all know what you're supposed to be doing and you all know what you're not supposed to be doing. We do not borrow, copy and paste, steal, or reword anybody else's material without giving full credit using MLA citation standards. Ever. I've got a pretty no tolerance viewpoint when it comes to academic integrity and plagiarism. At this point, you all have been through this before. You have had many teachers talk about plagiarism. You know what to do. And not only that, but the week 2 for all of my LA classes cover plagiarism and MLA policy and procedure. So I will teach it to you again, even though I know you've had it before, to make sure that you've got it. Okay? Because of your age and how many years that you've been in school, how many LA classes I know that you've taken before getting to me, and because I teach it here for an entire week, I have a very strict policy on plagiarism. If you're not sure if what you are doing is correct, then you should ask, right? Email me, call me, stop by the lab hours, show me what you're doing, ask if this is okay, let me know. Because if you don't, let me know. If you're not sure what's going on and you make the mistake, you will be held to it. So let's make sure that we're doing things the right way. And if you need resources, let me know and I will help you to get those resources, such as answering your questions. Okay. All right. So book list. There is a book list for my LA classes. I know I've got U.S. history students who are also watching this. Under the resources for students here, I do have listed a BU reading list. This is subject to change. I say this because this year I'll be rewriting the 11th grade LA course. So it's a very good possibility that I'm going to move some books around. It's very good possibility I will change titles. So things that you'll see on the list that I taught last year that are still on the list here may be different for this year. So before you go out and buy books or rent them from the library or something like that, just ask me. Once you see that it's released here, so you can see on the screen that we've got Into the Wilds. That's a book by Jon Krakauer that my seniors read in senior literature. That book is assigned. Once it's assigned and you see it in the weeks, you see it in the units, it's official. We're reading that book, okay? But if you see it on the list up here and you think, oh, I'm going to buy my books for second semester or something like that, I wouldn't do that yet, okay? I would check, if I were you, I would check with me before you do that because I may make changes. All righty? Okay, that's the book list. Extra credit, like I mentioned earlier, I do it at random. I do not do a lot of extra credit, so don't depend upon extra credit to boost up your grade. Just know that in advance. I do extra credit infrequent and low points. I do it so that we can offer an incentive for different kinds of opportunities that come available, such as authors who may be speaking, or webinars that are happening that are on topics that are specific to our classes, things like that. So I'll offer extra credit for those kinds of things as an incentive, but it is not something I do on a regular basis. It is not something that I will offer big points for, and I absolutely don't do it as replacement for an assignment. I expect you to do the assignments that are in the classes. Extra credit is not a replacement for those assignments or for those points. Okay? So be aware of that. I'm just looking over here because I've got another computer that's got my list of topics I want to make sure I cover with you. It's extremely important for you to follow a regular schedule. If you have the viewpoint that you'll get to school when you get to it, you'll get to it later, something like that, you're setting yourself up to fail. You really are. So what I strongly recommend is that you set yourself up with a schedule. Mondays, I work on LA from 8 to 9 o'clock. Mondays I work on math from 9 to 10 o'clock. That kind of schedule, just like you would have in the traditional classroom, you want to have that same kind of schedule. We do it in the traditional classroom because it works. So let's do it. Let's transfer that skill set to the online world because it's going to work here as well. If you wait until the last minute, it's unlikely that you're going to be successful. I don't know why they do it, but every semester I've got students who procrastinate. They'll wait until Sunday night to try doing their work, and those kids struggle. They have a really hard time. I'm not available to help them. The BU staff isn't available to help them. They're really out there on their own, and it's a tough situation. I don't want to see anybody doing that because it just doesn't work. I want to see you working during the week on a consistent schedule. If you're a person who finds it hard to figure out your schedule or to set a schedule for you, reach out to me. I will sit down with you and help you make a schedule. I'm really good at making them, and I'd be happy to help you get set up. Okay, just reach out to me. I'll help you. Another question is around academic language. Can you use slang, emojis, instant message style speak? Yes. When you are texting, use that type of speech. When you are doing school, you're going to use academic language. I do the same thing. When I text people, I text them in instant message style language. I text with emojis. I put pictures in my texts and things like that, right? I do that all the time. But when I'm communicating in an academic setting, I use academic language. I'll expect the same from you. Okay. Grading and gradebook comments and checks. I will grade each class at least once a week. After I grade your class, I will email you through Schoology. So you're going to go up to Schoology messages. I will message you. I'll let you know exactly when I graded so that you're not guessing. Did she grade on Tuesday? Did she grade on Friday? I don't know. You will always know with me because I will always tell you. Okay, you'll get a message that says that I graded. I will always let you know when I graded. I'll always ask you to go check your gradebook, and you have 24 hours to let me know if there are any mistakes. I'm a human being. I make mistakes. I need you to be in those grade books. I need you to see if I put in a 1 instead of a 10 for your points. Okay? So please be in there checking me. Any mistake that goes over 7 days is permanent. So I need to have you in there looking. Okay? I'm not going to go back and correct something from 15 weeks ago. So please get in there, take a look, and help me make sure that the gradebook is correct. I also leave comments for every single solitary assignment, everyone. So if I'm taking my time to leave those comments, it's so that I can help you. So please go read the comments that I leave you. They're intended to be helpful. Okay? Let's see. The last thing that's really important is to make sure that you read the directions that are in the class for the assignments and that you follow them. Don't make guesses or assumptions on what you think that I'm looking for, because everything I'm looking for I've included in the class. I've included in the directions. So be sure that you follow those. That's going to help you the most. I have students every once in a while who will say, oh, I didn't think I needed to read all the directions. Or I read the first part of it and I thought I knew what to do. And then it turns out that later on in the directions, there are some more specific details that would have helped that student. So be sure that you read everything. Not only that, but please don't skip the reading and just jump down to the quiz at the end. You're setting yourself up for failure again, if you do that. I'm just going to open up a unit here. So you'll see here with week 3 that we've got, these are the pages with reading on them and with directions, okay? Don't skip down and try to do the assignment and skip the reading, the information that's up above. You really need to do all of the reading before you go in to do the assignments, okay? Particularly with quizzes and exams. Again, those are not, I don't reset those. I don't reset quizzes and exams. So be sure that when you go into that, you're really ready to take it because you've done all the reading in advance, okay? And just the last thing I have is just ask when you need help. You're not bothering me, you're not bugging me, you're not, anything like that. Sometimes I get messages from students saying, sorry for bothering you. And I'm like, oh, you're not bothering me. This is what I want you to do. I want you to reach out. I want you to talk to me. So yes, reach out. You can email, you can call, you can text. Just tell me what you need, okay? And if you don't even know what you need because you're so confused, just tell me that that's the situation. I've been there. I know what that feels like. So if you're in that situation of saying like, I just feel so confused and overwhelmed, but I don't know what to do, that's okay to tell me that that's the case and I'll do my best to help you. Okay? So I think that that's the general overview. Please get to work. Start at the top, work your way down. Okay? And that's always going to be the way in my class. You're not going to jump around. You're going to start at the top and work your way down for every one of the weeks that are coming. So please do that. Reach out if you need anything. I'm here to help. I really want everyone to be very successful. I want to see a lot of A's and B's in these classes. So keep me posted on anything that you need. And I'm very much looking forward to getting to know you and very much looking forward to working with you. So welcome.